Okay, so what is this video about? What you see here are different cameras and all f-mount lenses that can autofocus. Now there's two that's given me trouble, which I'll show you in the video. But I have the Nikon D610 for DSLR. I'm going to try out all these lenses to make sure that they work. If they pass, then I go to the Nikon Z8, and then I'll go to the Nikon Z50, which I don't have showing here, but I'll go and get that camera. And this will be all part one. So we'll take a look at the images, the comparison, put a whole bunch of videos together. I'll just make it in part one. So the first stage is the Nikon side of the lenses that work properly on the cameras. And the second part is trying these lenses on the A7R5, A7C, the ZV-E1, and the ZV-E10. So both parts will have full frame and APSC. Sorry about that. Okay. So I got all these cameras. I got all these lenses. Let's start doing some stuff. Now, the two that I'm having difficulty with, and let me go to Osbot A. It's just that one. Oh, okay. I've been trying out the 300 millimeter, but I think this is a bad lens, okay? I bought it used. It works great in manual focus, but I was having difficulty in the DSLRs moving it. And Viltrox informed me that you got to have it in phase detect mode, AFC, in order to get this going, okay, to focus. The problem is with this lens, sometimes it failed on DSLR and I had to do this, okay? So since it's a native lens to the DSLR, I didn't have to worry about the adapter. But when it came to the A7C, I tried it on the A7CR, and then I'm going to try it again on the A7R5, all in AFC mode. And then the other cameras, and what I'm talking about is AFC, and we'll see if it'll work. This only focuses in the camera mode. It won't do it for video, all right? But that's good enough for me, all right? I just want to see if these lenses can work on the Sonys. So the trouble I'm having is this 300 millimeter f4. It's an D version, AFS. That's the problem with the, even when I do the manual focus, it kind of, it's not catching properly. So it's kind of loose. So that's probably the problem. It's the internals. It was in good condition, all right? Not excellent, just in good condition when I bought it. But I use it for manual focus anyway. Then, and I'm going to go to this one. Let's see. Come on. All right. Let's do close up. Can you see me now? I'm trying to get this Osbot working. Let's go to normal tracking. Headless, upper body, hand tracking. There we go. Yeah, you have to adjust it now and then. The other one I was having a problem with is it's a third party. It's a Tamron G2 150 to 600. And I had an AFC and it just wouldn't do it, but I'll try it again. So let's try it out. Okay, come on. Let's try it out with this camera. And just to show you, I'm going to try the one that's pretty bad. I mean, it looks good and everything, and I even have a filter on it. All right. I took the filter off just to test to see how it would perform, and it does perform. Okay. If I turn it on, and I'm going to put on live view. This is the 300 millimeter, and I'm just going to focus. It is focusing. All right. So this lens is working, but when I tried it on the A7R5, it wouldn't do it. So like I said, I'll try each lens, and I'll skip the part of putting them on, taking them off, and stuff like that. But that's what I'm going to try doing. Okay. So this one is going to work. That's one down. Okay. The Tamron. Let's see if it focuses. It's trying. And I got it at 150. Let's try something else. Yeah, it's focusing. Okay. This is the Tamron G2 150 to 600. It's the SP 150 to 600 f5 to 6.3 DIVC USD G2. 500 millimeter PFS, anyone? So let's see what happens. Put on live view. Oh. It's on. Okay. Yeah, I'm focusing. It's focusing. So I have no problem with the this one. And I tried it before on the A7R5. It was just the first two lenses I was having difficulty with. Okay. So here's the story on the Nikon AFS 7200 f2.8, but this is the FLED. Okay. Since they're so expensive on the mirrorless side, and this is still a great lens with a BR, or it's optical stabilized, I decided to use it. So I'm going to turn it on. I like using this. You just use one lens, and you can use it for F mount and Z mount, and now for the Nikon, or now for the Sony. And you know what? It's focusing real good. I have never had a problem with this lens. So this is a wonderful lens. So this is an APS-C lens. It's the Sigma 50 to 100. And cropped, it's like 75 to 150. So I put on live view. Come on. Oh, you got to turn it on. And it's focusing. I've had no problems. And is it 3.5? I got a filter on here too. A UV filter. Because I didn't have a lens hood. But it is focused. But you can hear how loud it focuses. the motor, right? But it is working. And if I look at it, I know it's a crop sensor lens because of the vignetting around the corners. Okay. Now this is one of my favorite lenses. This is the 180 millimeter f2.8. I have a filter on here. It's a UV, of course, 72 millimeter. Let's see if this works. Yes, it is. And it's a lot quieter. So instead of carrying the 7200, which I like, I usually take this lens. And this one does have a neat adapter on there. It doesn't lock in place, but it's pretty tight. So it's a good lens hood, okay? And yeah, all I have to do is focus. You might have heard the, see, you can now hear it, a little breathing, but it's getting there. It's trying to figure out what that angel is, but it's working, and it's a good lens. Now, I had the Nikkor 70-200. This is the 2470 G2 Tamron. Okay, I like this lens also. I think I just made a mistake where I was talking about the Nikon lens 24-70. No, that was the 70-200. So I made a mistake there. But if I use this camera, and it focuses fantastically. I've had no problems with this lens. It does focus breathe just a little bit, but not that much. Okay, it just goes in and out of focusing. But it's an excellent lens. It's not too big, not too heavy, and it is stabilized. Okay, so that I went with the good quality lenses that were stable. All right. This is one of my favorite lenses, 24 millimeter. It's the 2.8D. Okay. Already got it on. It does have a little trouble focusing. Okay. And when it is focused, it does a pretty good job. But it's not one of the sharpest lenses. Okay. But I like it for street photography and for basically landscaping. And plus with the 2.8, I can bring it inside and do some pictures. And I can manual focus here too also, which I usually do more. But it is a little bit sluggish on the autofocusing. But this is the 2.8D. So here's the Nifty 50 1.8G silver band. I usually put this on my DF now and then, but I've also tried it on the ZF, and it focuses very well. Yeah, just a little focus breathing, but it's not that bad. And I'm trying the Angel, so it's doing pretty good. Now, this is everybody's favorite lens, the 60 millimeter f2.8 macro autofocus. It has full limit. It has a little window on there for the distance and metering. I like this lens for macro. It does focus very well. But it's a little bit loud, but it's still a wonderful lens. This is the 50 millimeter f1.4G. Okay. It does have a little bit more difficulty in focusing, but I like the low light. I do have a 1.2, but it's manual focus anyway. But this is the G version. I got another, I'm sorry, I got a 1.4, or is it a 1.2? I can't remember. Yeah, that's the manual focus one. So this is the lens that I like also. It's a 1.14 if you need it in low light, but it is a little sluggish in focusing. And you can probably hear a little bit of noise. So what I'm doing is I'm testing the lenses out on the DSLR, and then I'll take pictures on the Z mirrorless system, and then that'll be in the next part. So this is running a little bit long. It's just showing you what lenses work that I own for autofocusing. Of course, this is one of my favorites. Also, this is the 85 millimeter 1.4G. Yeah, my dog does not like getting pictures taken. And it's pretty fast in focusing. So, and it's quiet too. Now, you got to try the 16 to 35. All right. This is the zoom lens for the DSLR. And it is focusing. It's an excellent lens. Hardly any focus breathing. And last lens I'm going to try out, which has autofocusing. I do have manual focus lens, but it's about 4 of them. No, 6 more, because I got 3 macro, one's a 150 IRIX. It's the Zeiss 135 and the Zeiss 55 millimeter. They're both manual focus lens. And the 55 millimeter is one of my favorite macros also. But it's manual focus only. I have the Distagon, or the Milvis Distagon 23, no, it's the 35 millimeter. Okay, and that's manual focus. But this one is the 105 2.8G. And this competes with the 180. So if I had to take 2 lenses, I like this lens, but I also like the 180. And, oh, you got to turn it on, folks. Okay. No problem in focusing. So the 85, now I did have a little trouble on reflections, okay? And it does focus breathe a little bit, but still a good lens. So this is the end of part 1. These are the lenses I'm showing right here, and I got some that I've used, but as you can see, I went through the whole gambit. And now in part 2, with the F to Z2 adapter, I'm going to try it on the Nikon full frame and APSC Z52. I'll show you right here. So Z8 with the F to Z2 adapter and the Z50. So this is in part 2, next video. I'm going to try all these lenses. If they work, then I know that they should work on the APS-C and full frame cameras for the, let's see, this is Z52. What's this? Oh, that's a 610. Got it, D610. So I know that they'll work with the Sony mirrorless cameras. So I'm going to do that test, and what it is just taking pictures, okay? I've already taken pictures with the D610 in previous videos. I'm now going to use all of these lenses first to make sure that they work properly. And anything that fail, I will notify you saying, hey, these two lenses fail. I'm not going to try them on Sony. Okay? Thank you for watching. Remember, stay safe, keep smiling, and I'll see you next time. Bye, folks. Have a wonderful day.